Hi, my name's Teresa. This is my channel, Homestead Life. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to be making some carrot cake today. I'm going to do a box mix carrot cake versus homemade carrot cake. I'm going to make it kind of simplistic, so I'm not going to make my carrot cake as fancy as I normally would. Saw this box mix at the store the other day, and I don't remember ever seeing a box mix for carrot cake before, so I thought I'd give it a go. There are some pretty cool things for creative tips on the side, talking about things you can do, adding carrots, raisins, and walnuts. Normally when I make my homemade carrot cake, I use raisins in it, not always, depending on who I'm making it for. So today I'm just going to use plain carrots, no nuts, no fruit, no anything in that. So we're going to start off with the cake mix first because it's easiest. I have both my double ovens heated, since they're going to be different times, to 350. And we're going to start with the simple one first. Oddly enough, this one is the fastest, but that's okay. Now they have, it looks like, some petrified carrots in here, which, all right, cool, whatever. We're going to add, as the box states, we're going to do 3/4 cup water. We're going to do a 1/3 cup vegetable oil, which I made a little bit of a mess here, and that's okay. Baking is fun and messy. My island is made to be cleaned. And then we are going to do 3 eggs. And I do have a bowl over here for a trash bowl. Here in just a minute. I like to crack my eggs into the another little bowl first, just in case one happens to be bad or there happens to be something wrong with it. Never hurts just to be safe rather than sorry. Okay. That, we're going to pour this in, and then we're going to give this just a good mix. Let me get the rest of the egg out. I'm just going to take a whisk and stir this together. Nothing fancy about this. And I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison. I'm going to have my husband and my son, who both love carrot cake, try both of them and see which one they like better. I think that will be kind of interesting. Because you know, if this isn't a bad starter mix for carrot cake, that might be something to keep on hand to whip something up super quick for them when they want it. My husband's been asking for carrot cake for, oh my gosh, over a month. And I've been trying to get around to it, but never, well, I haven't had the time. So when I got 25 pounds of carrots, figured, well, let's make some carrot cake. Okay, now we're going to add in the 1 cup of carrots that I've diced, that I've freshly made. Now these I did from fresh carrots that I cut and peeled. These are not the kind that you get in the container pre-done at the store. I would highly recommend not using those whenever you're making a carrot cake, even though it seems like it would be a real convenience. And the reason for that, pure and simple, is the fact that they're dried out and you don't want them to be dry. All right, this looks nice and mixed. Just so that I'm adding to the unknown, I'm gonna go ahead and use these disposable cake pans. And I'm gonna spray them with just some non-stick cooking spray, baking spray that has the flour in it, just because I prefer that. And then we're going to go ahead and pour this in to that and set that in the oven here in just a second. Try to get as much of it off as possible. Then we'll pour this into the cake pan. Now I'm going to cheat today for the frosting and use a store-bought frosting, just because I I want them to taste the cake more so than my frosting. And my frosting is pretty good, my cream cheese frosting. And my husband knows it well, so I want to give these an equal shot. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and spread this out. This one is gonna cook pretty quickly. And according to the instructions, this one takes how long? 20 to 27 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to use my finger, but I'm not going to. Okay. Get as much of this off there as possible. And we're going to go ahead and place this off to the side here for just a moment because I want to cook them at the same time, even though they're going to take different time frames. Let me rinse this up and we'll be right back. Now we're going to go ahead and make the other, the from scratch version. We're going to start by taking a stick of butter and put it in the microwave because we want that melted. I've got everything pre-measured. And I can link this recipe, or actually put the recipe below, since it's my recipe. If you'd like. Let's see. Alright, while it's doing that, I'm gonna take the flour. And to the flour, we have cinnamon, nutmeg, and then I have salt. I also have baking powder and baking soda. So I'm gonna kind of whisk those all together. And then I am going to add a cup of sugar. And add sugar more in there. There we go. Those combine nicely. Kind of put that off to the side. Let's check the butter. No, we're still. Give it just a little bit more time. I'm going to go ahead and get 4 eggs cracked while I'm waiting on the butter. And I have little pieces of carrot everywhere in my house right now. Alright. I'm going to crack these in the little container as well, the little side dish, just in case. Whoop, that was good. Just in case anything were to be wrong with the eggs. And you'll notice I don't crack them on the actual side of the bowl, and that's just because typically when you do that, you'll get shattered fragments of egg. So I like to do it this way. Sometimes it feels like I'm ripping them open, but I'd rather do it this way. And it looks like I've got a couple pieces of shell, which is totally fine. We're gonna go ahead and stick our other eggshell in there, which will help fish it out. And come here. I have to bend that just a little bit. So that other one went down there pretty good. Nope, got it. Okay, let's grab this out of. Perfect. All right, nice and melted. It is a little warm, which is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and put a cup of oil into this mixture, or into the butter. It's not a mixture yet. And then I'm gonna put a teaspoon of vanilla. Or I'm sorry, a tablespoon. A big teaspoon, right? Okay, it's a tablespoon. And then I'm going to put a cup of firmly packed dark brown sugar. Dark brown sugar is kind of like my little special thing that I put in here because it actually makes the cake moister. Moisture is a word? I don't know. Okay. And we're gonna just get this to kind of all melt together. Let this cool down just a little bit. And now we're gonna add the 4 eggs. Mix those all together. Now this is just the way that I've always done it, so other recipes and things may do it differently, but this is just how I've always done this. And you can make this in something like a KitchenAid or use an electric mixer. I'm just doing this really old school, old fashioned. Just because I feel like it and I don't feel like getting the mixer out. I've got enough things going today. Okay. It looks like I have a bit of the brown sugar still not dissolved, and that's okay, it'll dissolve in the oven. And now we're gonna add our dry ingredients just a little bit at a time until we get them all incorporated. And I don't just dump it in just because I like to make sure that it's getting thoroughly mixed in. Again, that's just how I do it. Other people may do it differently, and there's nothing wrong with that. The absolute last thing that I will add is going to be our carrots. Now, if I was going to use any nuts or any pieces of fruit or anything, I would put that in at the end as well. And I can tell you already the difference between the two that I'm smelling, since this isn't something you can smell, is you can smell the spices in this cake versus the one that was the box mix. I didn't smell any spices. So I didn't smell that cinnamon or nutmeg smell that's synonymous with carrot cake. All right. This is definitely a thicker cake as well. And if I would have been thinking, I probably would have grabbed a second box mix so they would be a little bit closer size-wise as well. But that's okay. Nice and incorporated. It's nice and thick. Okay, now that we have that, I'm gonna go ahead and put our shredded carrots in here. And I'm gonna kind of fold those in with my spatula, rather than trying to put them in with the whisk here. Let's get this apart. Having to resist the temptation of licking the spatula and the whisk because it smells really, really good. Side, and then we're going to fold this in. You can tell this one is a lot thicker already. This one actually is gonna bake longer, 45 to 50 minutes. For the other one, I think I said it was 20 to 27. Okay, now that we have this all mixed, I'm gonna do the same thing and spray this pan. Heavier, I'll tell you that. Let's go ahead and put this in. A lot more batter. Looking good. We're gonna get as much of this yummy goodness as possible. Spread this out. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this top one in. And do 25 minutes. And check it. And I'm going to put this one in the bottom. And we will come back and check that in 25 minutes as well. The timer just went off. It's been 25 minutes, so let's take a peek at the one up top here that should be done. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a toothpick and kind of just do a poke test, and it comes out clean. So let's go ahead and place this, close this up, and place this on a rack to cool. The one that's down on the bottom, I'm gonna put the timer for another 20 minutes and we'll check that at that time. Okay, it's been 20 more minutes and I'm gonna grab the other one out, and it looks like this one might be done as well. Let's do the poke test in the middle, and that one comes out almost clean, so let's put it in for another 5 minutes. It's been another 10 minutes, so let's pull this out and grab a new toothpick and do the poke test. And that's perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the rack to cool. So we're gonna let that sit there for about 15-20 minutes, and then I will ice both as soon as they are cooled down. Here we have the two finished cakes. This one is the box cake, and this is the homemade. I'm gonna go ahead and top them, like I said, with the store-bought icing, and these are completely cooled. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish these off. Let's kind of get these topped off. I don't know. When I bought this, I was thinking I was gonna do round cakes, but I thought I would just make it a little more simplistic because I'm wanting them to concentrate on the flavor of the cakes and see which one they like the best overall. Now it does look like I'm gonna need a about 1.5 of these containers for each, to cover each cake. So maybe I did just about right. Trying to just kind of make it even. My fingers are clean. Just don't want to waste any of this icing. Looks like I have a higher point here that I'm just trying to cover. Okay. See if I can just call that good. Let's go to the next one. This is so difficult to open. Probably because it's the end of the day and I'm tired. Okay. Really kind of wish I would drop in the second box, but it's okay. It may actually work in my favor for them not to know which is which, but yet I know which is which. Looks like maybe I can make it with just 2 jars. Perfect. Alrighty. So there we have our 2 cakes, and I will bring you guys back for the taste test. So we have our completed cakes. It's been a little while. It's in the evening. We've already eaten dinner. Unfortunately, my husband will not be joining the taste test because he fell asleep. But we're gonna go ahead and cut into both cakes, and then my son Jeff is going to help me taste them. So the first one, I'm not telling him which is which. And is this one over here. I've got 2 separate plates here so that you can keep them separate, obviously. That was redundant, but okay. It's late. It's been a long day. It's a Friday night, but it's been a long day. Okay. And here we have that one. And this one. Now first I'm going to start off by just a few little comparisons. We can see that the one on this side is darker and this one is lighter. They both look pretty fluffy overall. So Jeff, if you want, you can kind of come over this way. There you go. And okay, so I want you to try each one.
Okay.
And then tell me, we have the dogs waiting to see if we drop anything. Tell me which one you think is the box mix.
Okay.
And which one you think is the homemade.
All right.
And which one you like better.
Try the difference.
Okay.
Oh, really good too. I think that was the homemade one.
You are correct. That is the homemade one. And the other one is the box. Which one do you like better, or do you like them both about the same?
Honestly, I like the homemade one better.
Okay, so there we have, our winner is the homemade, but it was kind of interesting to have that little taste challenge. Thank you for joining me while I did my little cake adventure today, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for joining us today.